Hello, Scorpio. Welcome in. Welcome to my channel, Wing Spiritual Clarity. My name's Wendy Wang. I'm doing a Scorpio bonus reading because Scorpio continues to have some of the highest viewership on these readings. So I'm so grateful for all of you. I'm so glad to be able to translate these messages of divine guidance for you. So let's get to it. What's the overall energy of Scorpio's reading? Thank you. What's hidden from Scorpio that would be helpful to bring into the light of their consciousness? Thank you. Outcome and advice. What do the Scorpios need to know? Thank you. All right, Scorpio. Let me make some room here. Turn the cards over, see what we're working with. Okay. In the overall energy, 3 cards came out. We've got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, 8 of Pentacles in reverse, and then the 9 of Pentacles upright. They came out in those packets, like the Wheel of Fortune reverse and the 8 of Pentacles reverse, and then the 9 of Pentacles was a separate, the way they landed. I feel like this is before and after. It feels like you were in lesson in the past and your finances, it's like you couldn't work, you couldn't figure out how to make your finances work. Feels like it's very related to your Wheel of Fortune being in reverse, being in lesson. As I'm tuning in, it feels like you're not in alignment with what's for you, what's meant for you, the blessings. Feels like in the past when you were in this lesson trying to figure out, it feels like you're on your south node. That's the best way I'm able to describe this feeling, chronically in lesson. And it's affecting your stability, your finances. It's hard to work. It's hard to do anything when you're that kind of out of alignment with yourself, with what's for you. Anything else that would help Scorpio with this message to understand what was going on in the past? 6 of Swords in reverse. It feels like your nervous system is wrecked in the past. It feels like you can't get out of it. You can't get out of this energy. You can't escape it. Feels like anxiety. Feels like you might be in the past, not only in lesson, but in a chronic fight or flight. Ooh, feel nervous system dysregulation, worry, anxiety. And so you're operating from masculine energy, survival. Ooh, why? Ooh. Why is this such a chronic issue for Scorpio in the past? It looks like Death card, Hanged Man reverse. It feels like it wasn't until you got out of this environment that you were able to see why it wasn't for you. It feels like you're trying to understand, to make sense of this environment, trying to fix it, trying to make it work from inside. And you just can't, it feels like it's purposefully confusing. Purposely, so you can't find your own stability. Maybe you were raised to abandon yourself. It feels like I'm talking to somebody who's very interested in being themselves, being their authentic self. Someone who's very kind, very sweet, but it feels like someone was taking advantage of that and demanding that you abandon yourself, or maybe that's comfortable for you. That's how you were raised, to abandon yourself for others. Why is the King of Pentacles here? It's interesting. These cards came out as a challenge to... The King of Pentacles showed up with those messages. He's got his back turned. Six of Wands, Seven of Wands in reverse, Star card. It feels like you were raised to, or beliefs that you're supposed to buoy others. You're supposed to heal others. There's this King of Pentacles energy. It feels like they want what's yours. They want your energy. They want you to center them in your experience, to decenter yourself, to chronically heal them. Kind of feels like a mommy. They want a mommy. They want someone, but they're more than that. They get clout, success off of your energy. But you're not allowed to have boundaries. So this person feels entitled to what's yours, to you. They want you to heal, to lift them. They're not willing to do the work of getting out of lesson. So it feels like you might have absorbed this person's karma, their energy. You've lost your alignment when you center someone else. And when you do that chronically over time, you lose yourself. Literally, you are not in even a neighborhood of the vibration of what's yours. You're in someone else's vibration. You can't work with that energy. It feels like someone who, my way or the highway. You have to show up. This feels like a very self-centered person, yes, but they see things. They have a perfection picture, and you've got to be like them. Period. Okay. So it looks like that background with that information, that's to explain having bad luck, bad fortune, things not going your way, things not working, a lack of stability, a lack of finances, things not working out in the 3D because you're vibrationally in someone else's vibration. It feels like this person wants you to do the labor, the spiritual labor, the physical labor. Something that they're unwilling to do, but they're requiring you to do that, to abandon yourself, to have no boundaries. Yeah. And then the other cards, Nine of Pentacles. This feels like where you are currently or where you're headed. This is independence, luxury, abundance. This is happening for her. This is pre-Empress energy, an ability to create abundantly, because when you are in your own energy and you're training your focus on what you want, then you get more of what you want. She also has a skill, something that she's really good at, that's individual, independent. Four of Swords in reverse. This is my cutting contact, healing through cutting contact. I think you had to cut contact with this person, with anyone who demands, requires you to abandon yourself to be in a relationship with them, for you to have no healthy boundaries. So they have complete access to you. It feels like you can't there's nothing you could have said to change this person's mind. There was no perfect speech. There was no perfect way of explaining it. This person is willfully ignorant because they just want you to stop complaining and do what they want, be who they want you to be. They don't want you to be an individual, an independent person. They want your labor. They want your energy, your star power, your ability to heal. And it looks like you're recognizing that you're so much better without this person's energy. Not only, you can't co-create with this type of energy, you can't collaborate, they just deny your reality. And so it looks like you found your independence and abundance. It looks like you're happier and happier. Committing to yourself, having wins, having victories, more and more celebration. Why is the Strength card in reverse showing up? Three of Wands reverse, Justice reverse, Strength card. This doesn't feel like your energy, but it's coming out under the Nine of Pentacles energy. Feels like, depends on where you are, Scorpio, in this. But I'm seeing this as kind of past, present, or possible future. This happiness, this independence. Feels like that's where you are for a lot of you. And getting happier and happier. Feels like you're leading yourself. You stopped listening to people who didn't want this for you. They wanted you to be something for them. And it feels like these other people's energy, they're very insecure. They're very worried. They have a lack of expansion, and they've created so many injustices. Oh, I get it. You're in a different place now. Having finances, stability, security for yourself, and you've cut contact. They have no access to you, so they can't manipulate your perception of your reality. They can't blame you. They can't shift everything and make you feel crazy. This is crazy making type of energy. It looks like they're feeling insecure because you're more powerful. You're in a much more powerful position. This person, if they got any inkling of power, then they disabuse their power. They punch down. This isn't someone who's upright, upstanding. So if they were in your position, they'd be punching down to everyone. They'd be vengeful, creating injustices for others. And it feels like this person's concerned that you're still focused on them. I don't feel like you are. They're challenged by your Empress energy, your Queen of Swords discernment. They still, with Page of Swords in reverse and Six of Pentacles, there's something about finances that this person's got some issue with. They're challenged by where you're at and your ability to discern them and discern their lies. At some point, it feels like you might have believed this person, but I think you see their lies, their manipulations. You're just not interested. Feels like this person operated a lot in projections, projected a fantasy, told you what you wanted to hear to get you hooked in. Because if they told you what they really wanted in a relationship, then you never would have signed on. But they kept you in this fantasy, thinking that you were working toward, that you were both operating in good faith. This person was not operating in good faith. I get the feeling you're just not investing in them. You're not communicating. You're just not interested in this type of energy. Tell me about the finances. Yeah, if this person comes back in, it looks like you've cut them out. It'll be about finances over this person needs other people. Feels like they might have projected their limitations onto you, but you're doing really well by yourself without someone with their boot on your neck. I don't see this person able to get into your energy because you know too much is what I get the feeling for. It feels like you will call them out for this type of behavior. This is you, Scorpio, and this is the other person treating you less than. It feels like you spent a lot of the relationship trying to get this person to understand where you're coming from, what position you're in, trying to get up here on equal footing. But this person's willfully ignorant. Doesn't just want you to stop complaining. You know, why do you keep complaining? You're ruining everything. It's a lovely day. Well, I'm trying to get you to see that I'm not experiencing it the same because we're not having the same experiences. I'm cold. I'm getting less than treatment. Oh my gosh, here we go. One more. Like this person just denies your reality, weaponizes their incompetence. And so I feel like this person did too much, created way too many injustices for you to ever come back into your energy. It doesn't feel like they can breadcrumb you back in. That's it. I think you just see them, the reality, not the fantasy. And once you see that, you can't unsee the truth. All right, Scorpio, in what's hidden, we have Three of Cups. Celebration, people celebrating you. Found family, friends that are happy to see you succeed, to see you. That's wonderful. I think you're keeping, why this is hidden is you just, this feels beautiful. Yeah, the Sun card. Happiness. It feels like your inner child feels safe. That you have created a safe space for yourself. You've learned how to heal yourself instead of chronically healing others. Feels like you've learned how to heal yourself, how to go after what you desire to make you happy. There's stability coming in here as well. And then on top of this, I love that you're keeping it to yourself. This feels like you're nurturing friendships, people who care about you. And this is a no bully zone. No unequal power dynamics, no hierarchy. People aren't better than other people. It feels like you're creating a sanctuary for yourself and others. You've learned around coercive control, manipulation. So it feels like you've learned and decided, I don't want that. I've experienced what Abraham Hicks would say, I've sifted and sorted, and I've realized that I don't like bullies. I don't like being disempowered, made to feel less than. And so you're taking what you've learned and empowering yourself to create safe places for yourself and for others. You're following your highest excitement just for the excitement of it. You're very intuitive. High Priestess coming out. Unlimited potential. There's some kind of imbalance, that something that you're alchemizing, bringing into balance. An internal struggle. Internal ways, it feels like you're bringing that into balance. Okay, some of you have not really figured out how to embody safely rage and anger, frustration. Maybe you've just been taught and just suppressed it, ignored it, pushed it down, denied it. And so you might be figuring out how to have all the full breadth of your emotions, to not become, because it doesn't feel like you've had good examples of how to be angry in a healthy way, how to embody anger, to set healthy boundaries. What's that anger telling you other than it's bad, I'm bad for having anger and rage? Feels like you're learning how to reparent your thoughts, reparent yourself, how to have a loving internal dialogue. And when frustrations come up and difficult emotions, how to feel them, how to feel them in your body, how to move through them without suppressing them. All right, the outcome and advice. We have the Queen of Cups. She showed up in the overall energy with her back turned. Feels like you just want to be yourself. I'm getting a real sweetheart energy, but it feels like you're figuring your heart out, who you are, who you want to be. Not for others, not in service to others, but for you. Who do you want to be? And so you're healing a lot, figuring out how to unlearn some things that you learned that were projected onto you about how you need to show up, that weren't authentic, that you're letting go of and alchemizing so you could just be yourself, whatever and whoever that is. Feels like that might be one of your goals. I just want to be myself. I just want to live an authentic life. It feels beautiful. It feels like your heart healing. It feels like, the Ace of Cups just went through, that you're learning how to love yourself. And you got out of a comfort zone. Okay. So in the outcome and advice, a comfort zone, it looks like for you, is doing all the work. For others, because you're very capable, adaptable, resilient, but it feels like a comfort zone is doing everyone's fair share. You might be worried about who you're attracting, because you've had, now that you are your more authentic version, it feels like you might be resistant to trusting others because of what you've experienced in your life. So what would help Scorpio with that? What would help Scorpio get out of a comfort zone and learn how to work with others? There's some attachment that it feels like it's hard to let go of. A story. You might be attached to a story around others, and it feels like whatever that story is, if you don't like it, if you don't enjoy it, then change the story. You don't have to suffer under a victim story, martyr story. I do all the work and no one cares. Is that story, though, making you happy? Is that real, or is that hiding something in your shadow? There's some attachment, emotional attachment to a story, a perspective that's keeping you, and how you relate with others and work with others, stuck. It looks like that might be what you're working on right now with Two of Cups. Connecting with others that are like-minded, that are on your level, and not projecting hope, like what you need people to be, but allowing them to show you who they are. Well, that's the beginning. So, all right, Scorpio, I hope these messages have been helpful. It's so wonderful to get to translate these messages for so many of you. So appreciate you all. I'm a Scorpio rising myself. So, all right, take care. Thank you again. Have a great day.